What you hear, you forget. What you see, you remember. What you do, you understand. Never take anything for granted unless you want God to take it from you. What is lost in the fire is found in the ashes. Work brings profit, but mere talk tends only to poverty. Faith without work is dead. You can't support a cause and be mad at the effect it causes. Wealth is a crown for the wise. The effort of fools yields only foolishness. Gentle words are a tree of life. A deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. You will stay poor until you learn all the lessons poverty has to teach. A successful and peaceful heart leads to a healthy body. Jealousy is like cancer to the bones. Adversity introduces man to himself. You cannot defeat the man who finds strength in his own destruction. Imagination is everything. It is the preview to life's coming attraction. What you believe the world owes you is what you owe the world. When it comes from the heart, it goes to the heart. If you do not sacrifice for what you want, then what you want will be sacrificed. Work hard and become a leader. Be lazy and become a slave. Pride leads to disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. Your kindness will reward you, but your cruelty will destroy you. Give freely and become more wealthy. Be stingy and lose everything. Ignore criticism and you will end in poverty and disgrace. An evil man is held captive by his own sins. They are ropes that catch and hold him. He will die for lack of self-control. He will lose because of his great foolishness. Hatred stirs up quarrels, but love makes up for all offenses. The fears of the wicked will be fulfilled. The hopes of the godly will be granted. Search for God and you will find favor. Search for evil and it will find you. The seeds of good deeds become a tree of life. Wise people win friends. The human spirit can endure a sick body, but who can endure a crushed spirit? The tongue has the power of life and death. Those who love to talk will reap the consequence. People will ruin their lives over their own foolishness and then are angry at the Lord. Discipline your children while there is hope. The wise are mightier than the strong. Those with knowledge continue to go stronger and stronger. If you set a trap for others, you will get caught in it yourself. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will pounce on you like a bandit. Scarcity will attack you like an armed robber. Do not withhold good from those who deserve it when it's in your power to help them. Don't judge who you are so harshly that you destroy yourself before becoming who you are meant to be. The depth of your struggle will determine the height of your success. Never forget who you are and what you come from. Your self-confidence is a reflection of your reputation with self. You'll be respected for your actions and results, not your friendliness or desire to be liked. Never let loyalty and kindness leave you. Tie them around your neck as a reminder. Guide your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Well-defined goals are like magnets. The better you describe them, the stronger they pull. You will hold in your hands what you see in your head. Don't agree to anything you don't actually agree to. Do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. God steers, but you must row. The less you talk, the more they listen. He who allows oppression shares the crime. There is no joy in possession without sharing. Ask yourself, what move will give me the best possible strategic position? As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. It is hard to free fools from the chains they revere. I think and I think and I think. I've thought myself out of happiness 1,000,000 times, but never once into it. You are the source of everything you seek. To win any battle, you must fight as if you are already dead. I'd rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right. Don't take criticism from people you would never run to for advice. Belief and thus the world you become exists, quote unquote heaven, or don't and the world of non-belief, quote hell, consumes you for eternity. Seek the kingdom of God above all else, live righteously, and he will give you everything you need. Your wise choices will watch over you, understanding will keep you safe. If you're easily offended, you're easily manipulated. As a man thinks, so is he. Unless the Lord lays the foundation, the builders labor in vain. For a righteous man falls 7 times and rises again, but the wicked stumble in times of disaster and collapse. All I want to do is monumentally achieve endlessly. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek His will in all you do, and He will show you which path to take. God loves you. The evil the world seems to have for you is actually the path to greatness that God has planned for you. Pain is there to ask you one simple question. Do you really want to achieve your goals, or are you just a talker? Before God blesses you, the devil will test you. Can a man scoop fire into his own lap without his clothes being burned? What the wicked dread will overtake them. What the righteous desire will be granted. From the fruit of their mouths, people's stomachs are filled. From the harvest of their lips, they are satisfied. We must not get tired of doing good, for we will reap all at the proper time if we do not give up. The best way to fight the demons chasing you is to turn around and face them. Goodness is uneventful. It does not flash, it glows. As you climb towards the highest version of yourself, the extra baggage you carry with you in the form of your past resentments becomes infinitely heavier. Lighten your load and let shit go. Show them what happens when they take everything from you. Never give up and keep going back for more. You don't have to be immortal, just refuse to die. Competence builds confidence. Do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. Wisdom is supreme, therefore get wisdom. Though it cost all you have, get understanding. It was not by gold or by silver, but by labor, that all the wealth of the world was originally purchased, and its value to those who possess it and who want to exchange it for some new productions is precisely equal to the quantity of labor which it can enable them to purchase or command. For everyone that asks receives, and he that seeks finds. A sinking heart vitalizes the oppressor. You have to fight back willingly. Those who have swords and know how to use them, but keep them sheathed, shall inherit the earth. Your frequency is what you frequently see. The only source of knowledge is experience. To him that knocks on the door, it shall be opened. Learn how to see. Realize that everything connects to everything else. The first and last victory is to conquer self. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. Intelligence without wisdom brings destruction. He who sweats more in training will bleed less in war. We do not receive wisdom. We must discover it for ourselves after a journey that no one can take for us or spare us from. Love is happy when it's able to give something. Ego is happy when it's able to take something. Just as a snake sheds its own skin, we must shed our own past over and over again. One must need to become strong. Otherwise, one never becomes strong. You'll laugh at your fear when you find out who you really are. Your calendar is your best friend. Use it to create the day you want to have and build the life you want to live. Watch your thoughts, for they become words. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your actions, for they become habits. Watch your habits, for they become character. Watch your character, for it becomes destiny. It is the mark of an excellent mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. No one is more hated than he who speaks the truth. Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something. Ignorance is the root and stem of all evil. I'm not upset that you lied to me. I'm upset that from now on I can't believe you. People don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their delusions destroyed. He who has a why can bear almost any how. It can ruin your life only if it ruins your character. The higher we soar, the smaller those who cannot fly will appear. I overcame myself, the sufferer. I carried my own ashes to the mountains. I invented a brighter flame for myself. Is it better to outmonster the monster or be quietly devoured? Wealth is the slave of a wise man and the master of a fool. Nobody loves the warrior until the enemy is at the gate. If God is for you and God exists within you, who can be against you? You must be ready to burn yourself in your own flame. How could you rise anew if you have not first become ashes? The bravest sight in the world is to see a great man struggling against adversity. True love is two people inspiring each other to live. Let the young man in his desperation go out and hunt. If he kills the elephant, his poverty ends. If the elephant kills him, his poverty ends. Synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see. Not a single scar on my heart came from an enemy. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. The best sign of wisdom is the consistency between the words and the deeds. He who does good for another does good for himself. The victim of mind manipulation does not know that he is a victim. To him, the walls of his prison are invisible, and he believes himself to be free. Come unto me, O ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon ye, and learn of me. The best apology is changed behavior. Accept and acknowledge the truth, no matter how it is spoken. The strength of the wolf is the pack. The strength of the pack is the wolf. When you saw only one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you, son. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup truly overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Don't be afraid to fall, my son. Who you become in the process will be there to catch you. Dream with your eyes wide open, son. Let your mind run more on what you have already than what you lack. He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. If you want to see true grit, watch someone break. Then watch as the pieces settle, as hands begin moving, as a new man is made. The magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. To become a deeper man is the privilege of suffering. You may walk slowly, but never walk backwards. Pain forces men to think. Thought makes men wise. Wisdom makes life endurable. A focused fool will accomplish more than a distracted genius. Pain is your greatest teacher. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? Here is a rule into the future. When anything tempts you to feel bitter, not this is unfortunate, but to bear this worthily is good fortune. Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? As mediocre is almost always bitter, healing words are almost always painful. The root of suffering is external attachment. Receive without pride and let go without attachment. The secret to change is to focus all your energy not on fighting the old, but on creating the new. There has to be evil so that good can prove its purity above it. The universe will not give you what you ask for with your thoughts. It gives you what you demand with your actions. Don't be afraid of the man who gets loud when disrespected. Be afraid of the man who gets quiet when he's disrespected. Whatever the universal nature assigns for any man at any given time is for the good of that man at that time. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Seek to teach your children everything you never knew more than you wish to give them everything you never had. The moment that you rest, thinking that you have obtained the level you desire, a part of your mind enters a phase of decay. When the devil keeps begging you to look to the past, there's something in the future he doesn't want you to see. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. We rejoice in our suffering, knowing that suffering produces endurance. Endurance produces hope, and hope produces gratitude because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit. Everyone who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain falls, and the floods come, and the winds blow and beat on that house, but it does not fall, because it has been founded on the rock. Everyone who hears the words of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand, and the rain falls, and the floods come, and the winds blow and beat against that house, and it falls, and great was the fall of it. What you think you become, what you feel, you attract, what you imagine, you create. The trouble is that you think you have time. Slow success builds character. Fast success builds ego. Your worst sin is that you have destroyed and betrayed yourself for nothing. What hurts you blesses you. Darkness is your candle. The light always shines brightest when surrounded by overwhelming darkness. Ignoring a woman's past equals ruining your future, son. A man becomes a slave to anything he can't walk away from. This goes for pleasures, women, and bad habits. The devil can't hear your thoughts. He can only try to put thoughts in your mind. God is the only one who can hear your thoughts. I hope death feels like when Dad carried me inside after falling asleep in the truck. Lead with your heart, with your head, not with your heart. Wisdom is given to no man until he asks for it. When you've lost hope, always look to the helpers. Everybody is jealous of what you got, not how you got it. We can't break character anymore. Too much pain happens when we do. Look at your habits. Are they the product of innumerable little cowardices and laziness, or of your courage and inventive reason? Replace "why is this happening to me" with "what lesson is this teaching me?" The harder your life is, the more you have to irrationally believe in yourself. Should you find a wise critic to point out your faults, follow him as you would a guide to hidden treasure. Stop trying to calm the storm. Calm yourself, and the storm will pass. No tree can grow to heaven unless its roots first reach down to hell. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Love in order to forgive. Forgive in order to let go. In a controversy, the instant we feel anger, we have already ceased striving for the truth. Spirit is the life of the body, seen from within, and the body, the outward manifestation of the life of the spirit, the two being really one. The more you procrastinate, the more it accumulates. The wise man delights in the truth and follows the laws of the awakened. Boys are confident, men are certain. Your own worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your unguarded thoughts. To confront a person with his own shadow is to show him his own light. When you feel overwhelmed, think of everything you've overcome. The greatest gift you can give is to share your enlightenment. In order to keep it, you have to give it away. If you're not capable of cruelty, you are absolutely a victim to anyone who is. Pain travels through the family lines until someone is ready to heal it in themselves. By going through the agony of healing, you no longer pass the poison chalice on to the generations that follow. It is incredibly important, sacred, and difficult work. If we experience any failures or any setbacks, we do not forget them because they offend our self-esteem. Instead, we reflect on them deeply, trying to figure out what went wrong and discern whether there are any patterns to our mistakes. In order to establish dominance over the domain, you must first understand and master your terrain. When you are not fed love on a silver spoon, you learn to lick it off knives. The devil tricks us into destroying our future by distracting us in the present, by tempting us to turn around and look at our past. Win enough hours and you win the day. Win enough days and you win the week. Win enough weeks and you win the month. Win enough months and you win the year. Win enough years and you will win your life. There are two things people want more than intimacy and money, recognition and praise. Replace pursuit of happiness with happiness of the pursuit. Build a dream big enough to support your family so you don't have to worry about your family supporting your dream. Education is the only thing nobody can tax you out of, that can't be taken in divorce, and that government can't take from you. And education isn't just from college, Maximus. Before the sin, Satan assures us that there is no consequence. After the sin, Satan persuades us that it's unforgivable. Everything outside of logic and mathematics is manipulation. Push through your pain because giving up hurts more. No man is more happy than he who faces adversity, for he has given the opportunity to prove himself. Lose your ego to lose your limitations. You'll become infinite, kind, and beautiful. Approach all enemies truthfully unafraid, not because of what lies before you, but what lies behind you. The bitterness of poor quality remains long after the sweetness of low price is forgotten. Relationships are all about reparenting each other's inner child. God wants you to take everything seriously while laughing. In times of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. Live every day like it's the last 24 hours you have to leave everything you can behind for those you love. If thought corrupts language, then language can also corrupt thought. Build me a son, God, who will be strong enough to know when he is weak and brave enough to free himself when he is afraid. One who will be proud and unbending in honest defeat and humble and gentle in victory. Build me a son, God, whose wishbone will be not where his backbone should be. Lead him, I pray, not in the path of ease and comfort, but under the stress and spur of difficulties and challenge. Here let him learn to stand up in the storm. Here let him learn compassion for those who fail. Build me a son, God, whose heart will be clean and whose goals will be high. A son who masters himself before he seeks to master other men. One who will learn to laugh yet never forget how to weep. One who will reach into the future yet never forget the past. I pray that he may always be serious but never take himself too seriously. I love you, Maximus, and I know you will become this man. Purity over lust, charity over greed, patience over wrath, kindness over envy, moderation over gluttony, diligence over sloth. How you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. An emotion becomes a vibration. Vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. Unless someone has what you want or has taken others there, their advice isn't advice, it's sabotage. The ability to observe without evaluating is the highest form of intelligence. To hold a people in oppression, you have to convince them that they are supposed to be oppressed. A stubborn enough person can survive just about anything. Rage is a hell of an anesthetic. Never try to dominate the one who says sorry to you for their mistakes, because they understand you are more important than their ego. Everything is energy. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. A man is what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts. God pulled you out of the pit so you can go back in and pull more people out. Never forget that. You cannot teach anybody anything. You can only make them think. They must teach it to themselves. Wisdom lies in not seeing things, but in seeing through things. To whom much is given, much is expected. Our only sin is that we have forgotten ourselves, and our enlightenment will be that we remember again. All the gods, all the heavens, all the hells are within you. Never make the mistake of assuming the person of peace is unskilled at war. Is your money being longer worth your lifespan being shorter? The measure of a man is the way he bears upon misfortune. The measure of a man is the way he bears up under misfortune. Kill traitors before you kill your enemies. Your future self is watching you right now through your memories. Correct the wise and they use discernment. Correct a fool and watch him latch out at you. Pain plus reflection equals progress. To lead is to see further. The only way to have strong faith is to endure great trials. He delivers the afflicted by their affliction and opens their heart by adversity. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Pain is your greatest teacher. Whoever works his land will have plenty of bread, but he who follows the worthless pursuits will have plenty of poverty. Join groups where your desired behavior is their normal behavior. The price of growth is paid through pain. To a dormant society, the man who moves with intent is viewed as too intense. Disappear. Go to war with the man in the mirror. Come back when you're victorious. Before elevation comes isolation. God made you in His image. Never convince yourself you could ever be powerless. God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline. We cannot get real satisfaction out of our work unless we pause frequently to ask ourselves why we are doing it, and whether its purpose is one of which our minds wholeheartedly approve. Those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. The Lord is my light and salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is my strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial. For when he has stood the test of time, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love Him. Remember Lot's wife. For you, O Lord, will bless the righteous. With favor you will surround him, as with a shield. Don't be afraid to fall, my son. Who you become in the process will be there to catch you. What you decide to do with your life will echo into eternity infinitely through the influence towards the generations that fall under you. If you set a trap for others, you will get caught in it yourself. The wicked run away when no one is chasing them, but the godly are as bold as lions. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places, against spiritual wickedness in high places. If they stand behind you, protect them. If they stand beside you, respect them. If they stand against you, destroy them. Sadness comes from not knowing what to do or which steps to take towards progression out of your current state. Ignorance creates problems of helplessness, and wisdom creates solutions towards prosperity. People who accept discipline are on the pathway to life. Those who ignore correction will go astray. Hiding anger and hatred makes you a liar. Slandering others makes you a fool. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. Water carves through rock with diligence. Listen to wise counsel, receive instruction, and accept correction, that you may be wise in the time to come. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Lord, renew my energy when I feel tired and weak. Look straight ahead and fix your eyes on what lies before you. Mark out a straight path for your feet. Stay on the same path. Don't get sidetracked. Keep your feet from following evil. God equips me with strength for the battle. God subdues under me those who rise against me. Your excuses are nothing more than the lies your fears have sold you. Focus on getting even with those who help you, not those who hurt you. Life is an echo. What you send out comes back. What you sow, you reap. What you give, you get back. The spirit of the devil works through the children of disobedience. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost which is in you, which you have of God, and you are not your own, for you are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. The path illuminates further with each faithful step taken. Remember your why and who you do it for. You are built for the struggle and the greatness that comes with it. All in the all in all. In order to be, you must first become spiritual, mental, physical. What type of man must you become in order to attract what you want? No bird soars too high if he soars with his own wings. Before you pray, believe. Before you speak, listen. Before you spend, earn. Before you write, think. Before you quit, try. Before you die, live. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit he prunes so that it will be even more fruitful. The fool who persists in his folly becomes wise. The thankful receiver bears a plentiful harvest. Transmutation, not presumptuous denial, is the weapon of the master. You cannot act unless willed to act. You will not will to act unless you desire to act. You will not desire to act unless you obtain satisfaction thereby. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. Your lack of discipline is an insult to the people who believe in you. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. Life's trials are not meant to defeat you, but to strengthen you. Rise each time you fall, stronger than before. Walk around like God sent you, and smile at everyone you see. The chains of habit are too weak to be felt until they are too strong to be broken. People do not decide their futures. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. Follow the examples of the wise. Use law against law, the higher against the lower, and by the act of alchemy transmute that which is undesirable into that which is worthy, and thus triumph. What you say you will do, you have to do. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be converted from one form to another. Seek the path. Do not seek attainment. Seek for the path within yourself. You must be willing to give up what you are in order to become what you will be. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. You cannot wish for both strong character and an easy life. The price of each is the other. With the courage to begin and the discipline to endure, victory becomes inevitable. Chin up, son. Walk into the room as though God himself sent you. The lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. Fear is the path of the devil. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. The fear of suffering is the path to hell. You might as well be dead, seriously. If you always put limits on what you can do, physical or anything else, it'll spread over into the rest of your life. It'll spread into your work, into your morality, into your entire being. There are no limits. There are plateaus, but you must not stay there. You must go beyond them. If it kills you, it kills you. A man must constantly exceed his level. Virtue at the frequency of your authentic vibrate at the frequency of your authentic self and let go of your lesser victim self to attract everything that belongs to you. I respect all of the Lord's tests. I enter each and every battle with a smile. You will earn the respect of all if you begin by earning the respect of yourself. There's no need for vengeance. Those with a corrupt heart destroy themselves. Judge a person not by their accomplishments, but what they had to overcome for those accomplishments. Manipulation happens when the focus shifts from their offensive behavior to your reaction. Synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who see. What progress, you ask, have I made? I have begun to be a friend to myself. Truth is not what you want it to be. It is what it is, and you must bend to its power or live a lie. Physical punishment cleanses away evil. Such discipline purifies the heart. People overestimate what they can achieve in a year and underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. It is in the interests of the tyrant to keep his subjects poor, as the people are so occupied by their daily tasks that they have no time for plotting. All truth passes through 3 stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently opposed. Third, it is accepted as self-evident. Be mindful of your habitat. It's where you learn your habits at. Open your eyes. See things for what they really are, thereby sparing yourself the pain of false attachment and avoidable devastation. Evil preaches tolerance until it is dominant. Then it seeks to silence. A man cannot remake himself without suffering, for he is both the marble and the sculptor. Do whatever you can to escape the ghetto. It is filled with lazy, bitter, broke, and jealous people. Progress isn't celebrated in the ghetto. It is frowned upon. When you make any slight improvement in your life, it makes you a target. When God wants to make a man powerful, he always shreds him into pieces first. Never forget it's a process with God. Without pain, there would be no growth. Accept that pain and embrace that pain. Surround yourself with clowns and watch yourself become part of the circus. Everybody pities the weak. Jealousy you have to earn. This book of instruction must not depart your mouth. You are to meditate on it day and night so that you may carefully observe everything written in it, for then you will prosper and succeed in whatever you do. I pursued my enemies and overtook them. I did not turn back until they were destroyed. I crushed them
so they could not rise. They fell beneath my feet. You armed me with strength for battle. You made my adversaries bow at my feet. You made my enemies turn their backs in flight, and I destroyed my foes. They cried for help, but there was no one to save them. To the Lord, but he did not answer. I beat them as fine as dust born in the wind. I poured them out like mud in the streets. Show weakness, and your enemies will eat you alive. Stop asking people for directions to places they've never been. The man who fears suffering is already suffering from what he fears. After getting what you manifested, ask for the discipline to keep it and wisdom to multiply it. This is the touchstone of such a spirit. No prize fighter can go with big spirits into the strife if he has never been beaten black and blue. The only contestant who can confidently enter the lists is the one who has seen his own blood, who has felt his teeth rattle beneath his opponent's fist, who has been tripped and felt the full force of his adversary's charge, who has been downed in body but not in spirit, one who, as often as he falls, rises again until greater defiance than ever, rises again with greater defiance than ever. He reached down from on high and took hold of me. He drew me out of deep waters. He rescued me from my powerful enemy, from my foes, who were too strong for me. They confronted me in the day of my disaster, but the Lord was my support. He brought me out into a spacious place. He rescued me because he delighted in me. In my distress I cried to the Lord. I cried to my God for help. From his temple he heard my voice. My cry came before him into his ears. The earth trembled and quaked, and the foundations of the mountains shook. They trembled because he was angry. Smoke rose from his nostrils. Consuming fire came from his mouth. Burning coals blazed out of it. He parted the heavens and came down. Dark clouds were under his feet. He mounted the cherubim and flew. He soared on the wings of the wind. He made darkness his covering, his canopy around him, the dark rain clouds of the sky. Out of the brightness of his presence clouds advanced, with hailstones and bolts of lightning. The Lord thundered from heaven. The voice of the Most High resounded. He shot his arrows and scattered the enemy. With great bolts of lightning he routed them. The valleys of the sea were exposed, and the foundations of the earth laid bare at your rebuke, Lord, at the blast of breath from your nostrils. The strong do what they can, and the weak suffer what they must. The man who fears death will never do anything worthy of a man who is alive. A great man who is hard first and foremost on himself. A small man is hard first and foremost on others. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Power comes in response to a need, not a desire. You have to create that need. Your old self is counting on you, son, and your younger self is believing in you. Pain that brings you closer to God is always better than comfort that draws you away from him. If you are not aggressive, you are not going to make money. If you're not defensive, you're not going to keep money. Good and evil both increase at compound interest. This is why the little decisions you and I make every day are of such infinite importance. The smallest good act today is the capture of a strategic point from which, a few months later, you may be able to go on to victories you never dreamed of. The deep critical thinker has become the misfit of the world, and this is not coincidence. To maintain order and control, you must isolate the intellectual, the sage, the philosopher, the savant before their ideas awaken people. If the ruler himself has no faith, the people will have no faith in him. The wise man excels in the care of his people. Lead or follow, draw in or expel, grow strong or weak, succeed or fail. The only source of knowledge is experience. Once it is achieved, avoid complacency. What is achieved is dictated only by necessity. Someone who knows men has only knowledge, but to know yourself is perception. Someone who conquers men has only force, but to conquer self is true strength. A worthy man relies on his strengths and avoid his weaknesses. The enlightened man goes gently in the world, tempering his mind to it. The people all look to his deeds and listen to his words, and he treats them all as his children. By accumulating virtue, every obstacle is overcome. In overcoming every obstacle, all limits are removed. The enlightened man treats everything as difficult, and in the end faces no difficulty at all. There is no calamity worse than thoughtlessly going to war, for in doing so, I lose that which is most precious to me. Thus, when two sides do actually engage, the one that does so with regret will be the victor. Recognizing recognizing what one does not know is the highest order of behavior. Pretending to knowledge one does not have is a fault of the worst kind. The enlightened man is without fault as he recognizes his faults. The enlightened man acts without expectation, achieves without claiming credit. He has no desire to make a show of his virtue. The punishment of desire is the agony of unfulfillment. If you but set on the path, you will see it everywhere. It is a part of the miserable man to speak and to act without reflection. Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. The first gulp from the glass of natural sciences will turn you into an atheist, but at the bottom of the glass God is waiting for you. By the healing of your soul you will be delivered from all evils, from all afflictions. To the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. Kindness in words creates confidence. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. Kindness in giving creates love. The Lord answered me and said, write the vision, make it plain upon tables, that you may run when you read it. Nobody wants to hear you speak a sermon. They want to see you live one. The key to growth is the introduction of higher dimensions of consciousness into our awareness. By letting it go, it all gets done. The world is won by those who let it go. But when you try and try, the world is beyond winning. In order to be present in the moment, you have to be proud of your presence. The best mentors and friends want nothing from you and everything for you. Mountaintops inspire leaders, but valleys mature them. Nothing happens at random. Everything occurs for a reason and out of necessity. In order to awaken, first of all, one must realize that one is in a state of sleep. And in order to realize that one is indeed in a state of sleep, one must recognize and fully understand the nature of the forces which operate to keep one in the state of sleep. When dad comes to Christ, 93% of families follow. When mom comes to Christ, 17% of families follow. You are to be the leader, son. The man who lacks ruthlessness isn't strong enough to deliver, but a man who lacks compassion doesn't care enough to deliver. If he cares but he is weak, then he can't perform. If he doesn't care but he is strong, then he won't perform. Only a strong man who cares will deliver. You don't destroy a shadow by fighting it, but by shining the light directly on it. I think, therefore I am. Sometimes people hold a core belief that is very strong. When they are presented with evidence that works against that belief, the new evidence cannot be accepted. It will create a feeling that is extremely uncomfortable, called cognitive dissonance. And because it's so important to protect the core belief, they will rationalize, ignore, and even deny anything that doesn't fit in with the core belief. Your higher self knows the way. Let it be your guide. As I speak, I will create. Abracadabra. In the beginning was the Word. We fall captive to the herd animal if we cannot reach the individual divinity in ourselves. There is but one good, knowledge, and but one evil, ignorance. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force which brings the particle of an atom to vibration and holds this minute solar system of the atom together. We must assume behind this force the existence of conscious and intelligent mind. This mind is the matrix of all intelligent matter. Think selflessly and you will be unlikely to make serious mistakes. Lack of discretion is a moral corruption. Anticipation is the key to successful action. Civility is the etiquette of the samurai. No thought is the right thought. We want it all in the long run. You want it all today. No man or beast is truly your enemy. You must conquer yourself. Never lose sight of your own faults. There is nothing outside of the present moment. Life is nothing but a series of moments following one after another. There is no better way to die than to die in battle. The talented always rise to the challenge. Have your whole heart bent on a single purpose. Letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness. If, in our heart, we still cling to anything, anger, anxiety, or possessions, we cannot be free. When you're not sure, flip a coin, because when the coin is in the air, you realize which option you're actually hoping for. Rejoice not against me, my enemy. When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord shall be a light unto me. Not by might, not by power, but by my Spirit, says the Lord. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send? Who will go for us? And I said, Here I am, send me. If I love you, I have to make you conscious of the things you don't see. Believing you can infinitely increases the chances you will. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Let the redeemed of the Lord tell their story, those he redeemed from the hand of the foe. As a consequence of raising your vibration, you'll find that a lot of what no longer serves you simply falls to the wayside. There is nothing as offensive as intelligence and cleverness. I awake only to see that the rest of the world is still asleep. Do not despise small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. The illustrious ancients, when they wished to make clear and to propagate the highest virtues in the world, put their states in proper order. Before putting their states in proper order, they regulated their families. Before regulating their families, they cultivated their own selves. Before cultivating their own selves, they perfected their souls. Before perfecting their souls, they tried to be sincere in their thoughts. Before trying to be sincere in their thoughts, they extended to the utmost their knowledge. Such investigation of knowledge lay in the investigation of things, and in seeing them as they really are. When things were thus investigated, knowledge became complete. When knowledge was complete, their thoughts became sincere. When their thoughts were sincere, their souls became perfect. When their souls became perfect, their own selves became cultivated. When their selves became cultivated, their families became regulated. When their families were regulated, their states came to be into proper order. When their states were in proper order, then the whole world becomes peaceful and happy. It all starts with knowledge. Regardless of whether its status is high or low, if the time comes for it to happen, the house will perish. At such a time, if one tries to ensure that the house will not perish, it will perish in a way that leaves regret and brings shame to the clan. When you think that the time has come, the clan must perish cleanly and gallantly. If so, then at the time it is even possible to turn back fortune and save the house. Men worthy of respect, don't let anything bring them down, would rather die than demoralize, and will smash a hole through the end of the tunnel if there is no light to be found. Be inspired by the fear of being average. No amount of money ever bought a second of time. The hardest choices require the strongest wills. Death is what gives life meaning, to know one's days are outnumbered. Appreciate the things you have before you lose them, because you will lose them. Whatever new accomplishment you achieve for the first time, act like you've been there before, my son. Heal for your children because they deserve the best version of you. Heal for them so they don't have to heal from you. Jesus was just a carpenter's son after all. Did he smell the wood on the cross and think of home? People don't realize how hard it is to speak the truth to a world full of people that don't realize they're living a lie. The past is in your head, your future in your hands. The wound and the gift cannot be divided. Every man is guilty of the good he did not do. Kill the boy to let the man be born. Squeeze every possible thing you can out of every second you have. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened. God blesses those who are persecuted for doing right, for the kingdom of heaven is theirs. A docile temperament undermines the ability to work a man. In ruling a domain, the most essential thing is to get good people. There must be no negligence in the education of our children. The time we cherish them the most is the time they fall. The things of this world, if it's flowers, then flowers. If it's people, then people. Above all, what is needed is courage with compassion. To win over your enemy is to first win over your allies. To win over your allies is to first win over yourself. To win over yourself is to first win over your body by means of your spirit. If you do not train your body and mind well in advance, as if among tens of thousands of allies there is no one who will follow after you, then you will not be able to win over your enemy. If you think that service is something that you are just doing for this one day only, you can do anything. When the next day comes, you just need to think again that it is just for today. Die by the thrust of a sword after charging into the enemy lines. To just waste away and die on one's sleeping mat is not the way to go. Wise planning in times of peace becomes military preparedness in times of disorder. People don't buy products, they buy the person they want to be. You set a short period after graduating to hyper gamble into elite status, and if you fail, you just end up a wagey for life. The torment of precaution often exceeds the dangers to be avoided. It is sometimes better to abandon oneself to destiny. Soon all this will be left behind and you will have a much better version of yourself. Maximus needs you. Do not be the parent who would rather watch their adult child walk away from them completely than begin taking accountability for how their behaviors were unhealthy and harmful. Your higher self knows the way. Let it be your guide. 70% of the time you spend with your son is over by the time he's 12. 90% of the time you spend with him is gone by 18. Enjoy each moment. Genius adores isolation. Once the rain is over, an umbrella becomes a burden to everyone. Deciding not to take action will leave you playing defense. My people perish due to lack of knowledge. Win first, then go to battle. With the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. Show them when they play with you that you can move mountains too. Heavenly Father, bear witness as I show you the strength of what you created. God has assigned you the role of a dragon slayer. Why be distressed to discover the existence of dragons? If you are willing to look at another person's behavior towards you as a reflection of the state of their relationship with themselves, rather than a statement about your values as a person, then you will, over a period of time, cease to react at all. Choosing a good mother for your kids is more important than choosing a beautiful wife for yourself. Tolerance is not a Christian virtue. Fill your bowl to the brim and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife and it will blunt. Chase after money and security and your heart will never unclench. Care about people's approval and you will be their prisoner. Do your work, then step back, the only path to serenity. The truth has never denied the seeker. It's the seeker that has always denied the truth. Under peaceful conditions, the warlike man attacks himself. The value of a thing sometimes lies not in what one attains with it, but in what one pays for it, what it costs us. Never risk what you have and need for what you don't have and don't need. Be the man who got away and got his life together. When all other methods of communication fail, violence becomes essential for survival. Getting in shape is a spiritual process that's disguised as a physical one. In your search for self, you will find God. In your search for God, you will find yourself. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics. You are not what happens to you. You are what you choose to become. Surrender is far worse than defeat. Nothing can truly be taken from you. There is nothing to lose. The surest sign of enlightenment is serenity. Moral progress results in freedom from inner turmoil. It's much better to die of hunger, unhindered by grief and fear, than to live affluently beset with worry, dread, suspicion, and unchecked desire. In life, you need to have no fear, no hesitation, no surprise, no doubt. Make mistakes of ambition, not mistakes of sloth. Develop the strength to do bold things, not the strength to suffer. The final stage of healing is using what happened to you to help other people. When you work to please the one who sent you, you'll be given everything that you need in this world to bring more souls to God. Many are the sorrows of the wicked, but steadfast love surrounds the one who trusts in the Lord. Do not hide yourself when you're in pain. It's unfair to your brothers when y'all laugh together but you cry alone. Don't care about the money, only care about the act of teaching. Heal for your children because they deserve your best version. Heal so that they don't have to heal from you. Finishing is better than starting. Patience is better than pride. Control your temper, for anger labels you a fool. Wisdom and money can get you almost anything, but only wisdom can save your life. God has entrusted you with yourself. This is a vibrational chart in order. Enlightenment, peace, joy, love, reason, acceptance, willingness, neutrality, courage, pride, anger, desire, fear, grief, apathy, guilt, shame. For clarity, shame is the lowest, enlightenment the highest. Don't sabotage yourself by unwillingly adopting negative, unproductive attitudes through your associations with others. Wealth practices delayed gratification. Poverty practices instant gratification. The Lord your God, who goes before you, will himself fight for you, just as he did for you countless times before your own eyes. You must become the voice and person that you needed to hear and have around you as a child. The child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. Once the storm is over, you won't remember how you made it through, how you managed to survive. You won't even be sure whether the storm is really over. But one thing is certain, when you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. That's what the storm is all about. The only way out is through. To truly understand and connect with God, one must actively seek and cultivate wisdom. Wisdom is the key to enlightenment. A father's ability to regulate his own nervous system and anger response will be the baseline example of how a boy learns to regulate himself. We fall captive to the herd animal if we cannot reach the individual divinity in ourselves. The cost of being wrong is less than the cost of doing nothing. What you teach with your lips, be willing to seal with your blood. To protect your energy is to protect your family. If somebody is trying to bring you down, it's because they are already below you and want company. If you will encounter a downhearted friend, a grieving heart, don't let it spread to you. Never act like a gentleman with savages. Never act like a savage with gentlemen. Whenever you are fed up with life, start writing. Ink is the great cure for all human ills, as I have found out long ago. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. The fastest way to change yourself is to hang out with people who are already the way you want to be. Leverage other people's strengths to strengthen your weakness. Needing nothing attracts everything. Letting go of desires creates a space for abundance and opportunities to naturally flow into your life. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. They then dwell in the house next door, and at any moment a flame may be let out and set fire into his own home. Whenever we give up, leave behind, and forget too much, there is always the danger that the things we have neglected will return with added force. Other people's hate is just a reflection of their negative state of consciousness. An evil man will burn his own nation to the ground to rule over the ashes. People either inspire you or they drain you. Choose them wisely. It is better to be alone than in bad company, my son. When writing the story of your life, don't let anybody else hold the pen. Gratitude is the magnetic force that draws abundance to you. When you are tapped into a higher state of consciousness, you will instantly become isolated. Divinity feels like insanity. You can't be tapped into something higher and expect not to be viewed as crazy, evil, or lost. Remember why they hung Jesus on the cross. Men demand competence from each other, while women demand compliance from each other. The saddest thing about betrayal is that it never comes from your enemies. The most magnetic thing on earth is liking your own energy. The secret is not to chase butterflies, but to take care of the garden so they will come to you. In the end, you will not find who you were looking for, but who was looking for you. The most intelligent men, like the strongest, find their happiness where others would find only disaster, in the labyrinth, in being hard with themselves and with others, in effort. Their delight is in self-mastery, and then in their asceticism becomes second nature. In them, asceticism becomes second nature, a necessity, an instinct. They regard a difficult task as a privilege. It is to them a recreation to play with burdens that would crush all others. The higher you move in consciousness, the less fault you find in others. Always fill your own cup first and allow the world to benefit from your overflow. Without a team, your works are isolated. The first step to solving any internal problem is realizing you have one. The greats can endure all the pain life has to offer and use it as fuel to fight through the darkness. What you resist persists. What you accept dissolves. The wise man is always happy because he controls his inner state. The calmer you are, the clearer you think. When we love, we always strive to become better than we are. When we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. The only people who achieve much are those who want knowledge so badly that they seek it while the conditions are still unfavorable. Favorable conditions never come. Failing to plan is planning to fail, and planning has to be done at multiple levels. Have a plan every morning when you wake up. What do you need to get done today? What do you need to get done this week? What do you need to get done this month? The key with your to-do lists is you have to put them in priority order by number, example 1 through 10. The biggest thing about time management is to find your creative time and defend it ruthlessly. Spend it alone, maybe at home if you have to, but defend it ruthlessly. Identify when you're not enthusiastic and why. Whenever I procrastinate on something, there's always a deep psychological reason, usually fear of failing. Look at your habits. Are they the products of innumerable little cowardices and laziness, or of your courage and inventive reason? The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom, though it cost all you have. Get understanding. Cherish her, and she will exalt you. Embrace her, and she will honor you. She will give you a garland to grace your head and present you with a glorious crown. Accept the reality that bad things happen, but do not let them cloud and poison your energy. Create a strong intellectual environment for you to live in. That is so key. Have a place in your home that is quiet, still, where you feel at peace. Action produces information. Let that information guide you. If a brother teaches you how to fish, don't fish in his pond. Your job throughout your entire life is to disappoint as many people as it takes to avoid disappointing yourself. If your mind is strong, all difficult things will become easy. If your mind is weak, all easy things will become difficult. Unexpressed emotions never die. They are buried alive and come forth later in uglier ways. Most successful people are just a walking anxiety disorder harnessed for productivity. Like the cup, you are full of your own opinions and speculations. How can you be shown wisdom unless you first empty your cup? To a mind that is still, the entire world surrenders. When an archer shoots for enjoyment, he has all his skill. When he shoots for a brass buckle, he gets nervous. When he shoots for a prize of gold, he begins to see two targets. Just when the caterpillar thinks the world is over, it becomes a butterfly. Only the intelligent know how to identify all things as one. Whosoever shall seek to save his life will lose it, and whosoever shall lose his life will keep it. You must expect great things of yourself before you can do them. In a quantum universe, there are no such things as accidents, only possibilities and probabilities folded into existence by perception. Keep the Bible always on your lips and in your sight. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be mindful enough to do everything written in it. Then you will become prosperous and successful. When you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father, who is unseen. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. Struggle humbles, isolation transforms, blessings confirm the transformation. God's process isn't punishment, it's preparation. Trust the breaking, endure the rebuilding, and receive the reward with gratitude. The easiest person to fool is yourself. Get your dopamine from action. Dopamine from information gathering is a dangerous drug. Upon your entire life will change the moment you stop looking for more information and start acting on the information you already have. My prayer is that when I die, all of hell rejoices that I am out of the fight. The root of every problem is fear. Instead of buying your children all the things you never had, teach them all the things you were never taught. The strength of a person's spirit is measured by how much truth he can tolerate. The one perfectly divine thing, the one glimpse of God's paradise given on earth, is to fight a losing battle and not lose it. Woman is meant to nurture the children inside the cave. Man is meant to show them the world outside the cave. God forgave prostitutes, but when it was time to decide a mother for his son, he picked a virgin. The most terrifying thing about the road to hell is how uneventful and gentle it is. What are you afraid of losing when nothing in the world actually belongs to you? I trusted you blindly, and you proved to me that I was blind. A child that's being abused by their parents doesn't stop loving their parents. They stop loving themselves. Live life as if everything is rigged in your favor. Scarcity breeds desperation. When you stop needing the win, you start winning. The profound joy of life lay not in the absence of suffering, but in the resilience forged with its unrelenting embrace. In the darkest times, hope is something you give yourself. The world is a malleable place. If you know what you want and you go for it with maximum energy and passion, the world will often reconfigure itself around you much more quickly and easily than you would think. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? To the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. All men make mistakes, but a good man yields when he knows his course is wrong and repairs the evil. The only crime is pride. Empower yourself first before you seek to empower others. Become the message first before you seek to become the messenger. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. Thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. Give me a lever long enough and a place to stand, and I will move the world. A man must be big enough to admit his mistakes, smart enough to profit from them, and strong enough to correct them. Never interrupt someone doing what you said couldn't be done. Do you love life? Then quit wasting time, for that is the stuff life is made of. The greatest obstacle to discovery is not ignorance, it is the illusion of knowledge. It requires wisdom to understand wisdom. The greatest symphony is nothing if the audience is deaf. A day of worry is more exhausting than a week of work. From the errors of others, a wise man corrects his own. If you don't have wisdom, you can only teach ignorance. Success is not to be pursued, it is to be attracted by the person you become. It is the nature of the wise to resist pleasures, but the foolish to be a slave to them. The worst form of inequality is to try to make unequal things equal. You cannot be angry with the person you fear. Unconditional love leads to unconditional disrespect. You cannot beat a river into submission. You have to surrender to its current. You'll beat 99% of people with violent effort, not elegant ideas. You can plant seeds into soil, but you can't force seeds to grow. Just decide that everything is going to work out well for you. If you're right, feel better now and later, and if you're wrong, you still feel better now. Negativity is always stupid. The smartest people have faith, even when life gets hard. A true warrior embodies strength, not just in battle, but in compassion. When faced with those in need, they rise to the occasion, willing to put themselves at risk to protect others. Their heart beats in rhythm with the struggles of the vulnerable, and their courages shine brightest in moments of adversity. For a true warrior, honoring the call to help is a duty that transcends fear, proving that real bravery is found in selfless acts of kindness. You are my hammer and weapon of war. With you I break. With you I break nations in pieces. With you I destroy kingdoms. The true man wants two things: danger, and play. For that reason, he wants woman as the most dangerous plaything. The best weapon against an enemy is another enemy. I assess the power of a man's will by how much resistance, pain, torture he can endure and know how to turn to its advantage. Be wary of the man who urges an action in which he incurs no risk. Those who fail to love and respect themselves cannot love and respect others. Pray as though everything depends on God. Work as though everything depends on you. Both are true because God is in you, and by doing the work in faith, your sacrificed efforts honor the life that God himself breathed into you as a man. Never forget, God built this world and formed you from the world he built and breathed life into you with the commandment to rule all things on earth. God gave you dominion as the greatest force on earth. Act like it. I love you, Maximus.